Have you ever prayed for something with all your faith, and yet the door still remained closed? You fasted, you believed, you asked for signs, but nothing happened. And the worst part isn't just the waiting, it's the feeling of rejection. Because when an opportunity doesn't happen, when someone walks away, when a dream falls apart, it's easy to think, God has abandoned me. But what if the truth is exactly the opposite? What if the door didn't open because God was protecting you from something you still couldn't see? Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here we talk about things most people never notice about faith, purpose, and spiritual alignment. And maybe this video will completely change the way you interpret the no moments in your life. Today, you will understand why some of God's no's are actually some of the greatest acts of love in your life. And maybe what hurt you the most in the past was exactly what saved your future. Most people believe that every closed door is a failure, but the Bible shows something different. Not every opportunity comes from God. Not every beautiful path leads to the right destination, and not every open door means a blessing. Sometimes, the enemy doesn't try to destroy you with pain. He tries to destroy you with distraction, with wrong opportunities, wrong people, hasty decisions, environments that look good, but pull you away from your purpose. Napoleon Hill taught that every apparent failure carries the seed of an equal or greater benefit. The problem is that, in the moment of pain, most people cannot see it. And that is why God often allows certain doors to close, doors you desperately wanted to walk through, because He can see the ending, while you are still only seeing the beginning. You see opportunity, God sees consequence. You see emotion, God sees hidden destruction. You see immediate gain, God sees eternal impact. Now tell me something. Have you ever experienced something that seemed like a loss at first, but later turned out to be protection? Write it in the comments. I really want to know how many people have gone through this. There is something very dangerous, misinterpreting God's silence as abandonment. Because when nothing happens, the human mind starts creating conclusions. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe God doesn't care about me. Maybe my prayers don't work. But often, God is silent because He is preventing something invisible. Imagine a child trying to cross a busy street. The child doesn't understand the danger. They only see what they want on the other side. So the father holds their hand. The child may become frustrated, may even cry. But the father is not refusing out of cruelty. He is protecting. Jesus reveals something powerful when He shows that we often don't understand what God is doing in the present, but later we will understand. That is exactly how God works in many moments of our lives. You ask for access, God sees an accident. You ask for speed, God sees unreadiness. You ask for that person, God sees the pain that would come later. And one of the greatest signs of spiritual maturity is learning to trust God even when you don't understand why the door is closed. Some people deeply believe this, others struggle to accept it. But I want to know your opinion. Do you believe God closes doors to protect people? Comment below. Look at the story of Joseph. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold, humiliated, wrongfully imprisoned. From a human perspective, it looked like God had abandoned everything. But every closed door in Joseph's life was positioning him for something greater. The Bible shows that what looked like prison was actually preparation. If Joseph had stayed comfortably with his brothers, he would never reach Egypt. If he had not been imprisoned, he would never meet the right people. And if everything had gone the way he wanted, God's purpose would never have been fulfilled. Understand this. What looked like destruction was actually redirection. And maybe that is exactly what is happening in your life right now. Maybe that closed door is preventing a relationship that would destroy your peace. Maybe that missed opportunity was carrying a weight that would have consumed your soul. Maybe God is saving you from battles you don't even know existed. If this is making sense to you, share this video with someone who is going through a difficult season right now, because maybe that person is interpreting rejection as something that is actually protection. Here is something deep. Sometimes the problem is not the door. It's the version of you that is not ready to walk through it, because certain blessings require maturity, emotional stability, spiritual capacity. King Solomon said that wisdom is more valuable than riches, and that changes everything, because many people ask for prosperity, but don't have the wisdom to manage it. They ask for influence, but don't have the character to sustain it. They ask for relationships, but still carry unhealed wounds. So God waits, not to punish, but to prepare. Florence Scovel believed that what is truly meant for you will never be lost, only aligned with divine timing, because a blessing without preparation becomes destruction. And that explains why some answers feel delayed. God doesn't just want to give you something, He wants to make sure it doesn't destroy you later. If you enjoy this kind of deep message about faith, alignment, and purpose, make sure to turn on notifications, because the next videos will connect everything in a much deeper way. Maybe right now, you are living exactly this: a long wait, a prayer without answers, an opportunity that never came. So what should you do? First, stop interpreting every delay as rejection. Not every closed door is loss. Sometimes it is deliverance. Second, ask for discernment instead of just results, because not everything you want today will make sense tomorrow. King David showed this powerfully. Even though he was chosen by God, he waited years before becoming king. There was persecution, loneliness, injustice, but the delay was not abandonment. It was preparation. Third, keep moving forward even when you don't understand everything. Faith is not having all the answers. Faith is trusting God when you cannot yet see the full picture. And maybe, years later, you will look back and say, "Now I understand why God didn't allow that." There is one truth that very few people are willing to accept. Some of the greatest blessings in your life came from doors that never opened, people who left, plans that failed, opportunities that disappeared. At the time, it felt like pain, but later you realize it was protection, because God does not only see what you want right now, He sees who you are becoming. So the next time something doesn't happen the way you expected, don't immediately conclude that God has forgotten you. Maybe He is doing the exact opposite. Maybe the door didn't open because God was protecting your future. And one day, you will thank Him for what hurts you today, because not every no is rejection. Sometimes, it is love disguised as waiting. And if you made it this far, comment, "God was protecting me," just so I know who watched until the end. And if this message spoke to you in any way, subscribe to the channel, because this channel is for people who want deeper intimacy with God, spiritual understanding, and daily growth in faith. Here, you are not alone.